Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm so glad that you're here. This video is going to be, you guessed it, reading Daisy Jones and the Six with me. It's the first time I'm reading it. I've never read it before, and I'm doing this in honor of the show that is coming out on March 1st. I'm going into it blindly. All I know is it's about a band that was in the 60s, I believe. Let's just get into it because I don't even know what to expect, so let's just start. Also, if you aren't following me on Instagram, make sure you head on over. It is k.keepsakes. Over there I post all the behind the scenes stuff. I post what I'm reading, what I want to read next, tags, all types of stuff. So if you aren't following, you're definitely missing out on maybe possibly interacting with me for future videos. And if you're not already subscribed, make sure that you subscribe. It's free. It's free. And hit that post notification bell to know every time when I post a new video. Okay, so I just read chapter 1, and it's actually really good. I love how the style of how it's written, like an interview. It's actually a very cool concept that I would have never thought of. I did want to show you guys this quote that is at the very end of chapter 1 that I thought was sick. And it says, "I had absolutely no interest in being someone else's muse. I am not a muse. I am the somebody." End of fucking story. Update. I haven't read for a hot couple days. I'm currently on page 132. Camille is pregnant, or she's been pregnant. She had her daughter Julia. This is also the time when Billy was super heavy on the drugs, alcohol and everything, and wasn't doing the best as far as that goes. Basically Daisy Jones was on her own for a hot minute, you know, doing her music, but she walked out in the recording studio because she wanted to record the music because she wanted it to be recorded and wanted it to be hers, which we love to see. It just so happens that the guy that is the manager for the Six is also the guy that comes and he's like, "Listen, hear me out, like, you have this gift, like, you need to show it, da 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 da." So basically he kind of then discovers who Daisy is in a way. Also right now Karen and Graham are sleeping together, which I think is really funny because Warren to this day still doesn't know who the hell it was, but he said he got woken up in the middle of the night to Karen having sex with somebody. And so as of right now, Billy had to go home because Camille was apparently giving birth to the twins, and they just went on their first like little tour or whatever. It was called the 678 or 789. I think it was 789 tour, the numbers tour, whatever. They went on that tour, and Daisy Jones was basically the opener, if you will. And Daisy Jones, she sang with Billy in the song Honeycomb, and it was a huge hit. It hit the charts, #1. It was really great. It was awesome. But they had this one show that they had done where the guy from Rolling Stones was in the audience, and they wanted to like really blow him away, whatever. Basically this man came up with a whole article to put out, and they put that he put them on the cover of Rolling Stones, which is sick. But the article's title was called "The Six That Should Have Been Seven," or "The Six That Should Be Seven," and Billy is pissed. Well, I'm basically gonna watch how that plays out. But I also wanted to honorably mention that the first show that they ever played together basically was in Nashville, and I think that's so funny because I live in Nashville, so need to get it finished this week because I'm going somewhere this weekend, and that's for another video. Okay, so we're just gonna ignore this situation I got going on. Trying a new hack to curl my hair. Girlfriends, we are on page 307. I'm right here. Basically, to catch you up, Karen ended up pregnant with Graham's baby, but didn't want the baby. Graham was mad. Karen just got an abortion. I know that was just like, the way she explains it is like so sad. Like, how it's just not the thing that would make her happy, and she was so happy that Camila understood, you know, how she was feeling. Ignore my bed, I wanted to sit. But basically, Daisy Jones also basically admitted her feelings for Billy, and now she's at the point in her life where she's like, performing with him literally sucks, because every song that I sing makes me think of how in love I am with him, and I can't have him. Same. So that's kind of where she's at. Billy kind of is like in the middle. He's like, I really like am not in love with Daisy, but like I'm, you know, I want to pursue that in a way. Like I'm gravitated towards her, but like I'm also gonna always choose Camila and my family over her, because he's like, I will always, it's like he's trying to convince himself. Like it's giving Anthony Bridgerton, like when he's like, I'm a gentleman before he does everything to try to justify his actions. And no, he's giving me, and I'm not really here for that. Billy's not my fave. I think he's like, he brings a certain dynamic to the book or the story or the band or whatever, which is really nice to have because it makes it entertaining and it makes you want to read more to figure out like what happens or whatever. Basically, I'm at the part right now where everything is like going to shit. Pete is wanting to leave the band. Eddie's pissed off because he doesn't understand why Pete all of a sudden wants to leave the band. Teddy just died. So it's kind of crazy. I don't know. I'm gonna go back to reading, but I just thought I'd give you guys a little update because I haven't really filmed in a minute. And I was just sitting here and I was like, oh my god, I'm literally to the part right now where it says Chicago Stadium, July 12th, 1974. And I was like, maybe I should stop and update them. So yeah, I'll see you when I finish. What the fuck did I just read? Oh my god, hold on. I need to read this to you. I mentioned earlier how basically Daisy, like, you know, realized she was in love with him or whatever, or in love with Billy. What I like. So Daisy says, Billy started playing and I caught his eye for just a moment before I started singing, and it just seemed so obvious. So painfully, embarrassingly obvious. Without Nikki there to distract me, without keeping myself so drugged up, I wasn't even mentally present. It just seemed so obvious that I loved him, that I was in love with him. And it cuts to Billy, right? I want to cry. So basically this whole little section right here is him explaining how much he loves his wife, how he's faithful to her, blah, 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 blah. He starts to mention like maybe Camila wasn't the person I was the most in love with at that time. I don't know. You can't, maybe she wasn't, but she was always the person I loved the most. She was always the person I would choose. It is Camila for me, always. Passion is, it's fire, and fire is great, man. But we're made of water. Water is how we keep living. Water is what we need to survive. My family was my water. I picked my water. I'll pick water every time. And I wanted Daisy to find her water because I couldn't be it. I'm done. See, because then he goes on to be like, I'm gonna cry. Most beautiful woman I'd ever seen in my life. And that's Billy during one of the songs that they were singing. Here's the like, the main event. And I wish I'd have been recording my reaction because I genuinely almost like shit my pants. So, for anyone that wasn't aware, this book is basically taught or spoken through an author or narrator point of view. She's asking these people these questions in an interview, right? Oh my god, I just thought about how this is gonna play out on the show. Anyway, so all we know is that author here is anonymous. We don't know who it is. It's not really important to know who it is, so it's pretty much just told through all of the other, you know, characters. Here, this is right when they had just performed at their their last show, okay? So they performed at their last show. Billy's at the bar. Now keep in mind, Billy had an alcohol and drug problem while he was on the road before Daisy even joined the band. So at this point, he's basically like so fed up with everything. He's so irritated. The only thing that he's wanting is a drink right now. Like, his focus is the bar, okay? So this man goes all the way to the bar. Daisy self-consciously is kind of like, well, I was gonna go to the bar, and we're thinking like, oh my gosh, she's gonna run into him. It's gonna be this whole thing because he's not supposed to be drinking, he's supposed to be sober. She ends up going to this door. So she sits in front of this door because she's trying to get the door unlocked. She's like drunk out of her mind. Well, she's like out of her mind. So I mean, girls knocked up on, like, heavy, high hell on drugs, okay? I was trying to open the door and the key won't go in. And she can hear children like laughing or talking in the background, okay? But then it cuts back and forth to Billy. So Billy is explaining how, you know, he grabbed the glass, the tequila, he grabbed it again and stared at it and thought about what it would taste like, clean smoke. I was lost in when the guy next to me said, hey, you're Billy Dunn, aren't you? And he put the glass back down. So we're thinking, phew, like, safe, whew. And then Daisy said I was stuck out there in the hallway, unable to get into my room, and I slumped down on the ground and I started crying because she was getting frustrated, right? So then Billy said, I said, yes, I am. And the man said, my girl's got a real thing for you. I said, sorry about that. And he said, what are you doing here in a bar by yourself? You seem like a guy who could be with any woman in the world. I said, sometimes you have to be alone. Daisy says, I looked down the hall and I realized it was, well, out into the hall comes Camila and she's holding Julia. Right? Oh my God, the way this was written, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Taylor Jenkins Reid. Oh my God. Anyways, and it says author goes, wait a minute. Author's note. While I have made a concerted effort to remove myself from the narrative, I have included here a verbatim, I probably butchered that word, anyway, not the point, script of one conversation I had with Daisy Jones, because I am, in fact, the only one that can incorporate this essential piece of Daisy's story. So now this is the conversation between Daisy and the author, okay? So Daisy says, yeah. And the author says, you were wearing a white dress. Daisy, yeah. Author, and you were sitting in the hallway. You couldn't open your own door. Daisy, yeah. Author, and my mom. What? What? So then you keep reading. Daisy, yeah. Your mom opened the door for me. Author, I remember this. I was with her. I had woken up and had a bad dream. Daisy, you were about 5 or so, I think. So you got a good memory. Author, I mean, I completely forgot about it, but now that you're saying it, I do remember being there with you. But my mom never mentioned anything. I wonder why she didn't talk about this with me. So basically, you find out that the person that's been interviewing the whole damn band is Julia. Okay? He has a family with Camila. Like, it's shitty for you to be like, oh, I want him to leave her because I want Billy with Daisy, or like whatever the case may be. Because that's where my head was at. I was like, I want him to leave her. Like, you can clearly tell he's not in it, like, at all. All the ties with the family and the girls and blah, 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 blah. So Camila basically helps Daisy into her apartment. She, you know, sits Julia down, tries to get her to, you know, go back to sleep, whatever. And then she ends up telling Daisy, she's like, I need to tell you something, basically. Daisy, he loves you. You know that he loves you. I know that he loves you, but he's not going to leave me. Cutting back and forth, you know, Billy thinking about shit at the bar. And then Camila is, not the rain interrupting my video. And then Camila is the one that says, Daisy, you need to leave this band. If I'm wrong and you're already in the process of moving on and you're willing to let him move on, then don't listen to me. You have no responsibility to me. But if I'm right, you'll be doing us all a favor if you left and get yourself clean and find a life away from him. You'd be doing it for yourself. And yes, you'd be doing him a service, but also you'd be helping me take care of my children. Daisy, she's on the next flight out the next morning or whatever. And then the next morning, everyone's freaking out because Pete's left the band. What's his face? Graham is pissed off because he can't be with Karen. Karen can't be in a band with him anymore. Billy doesn't want to do this anymore. Daisy's nowhere to be found. Like, everyone's just trying to convince me otherwise. Karen then says when Daisy left, it was like the Ferris wheel stopped turning and we all got off. And then Daisy said, I left the band because Camila Dunn asked me to, and it was the very best thing I've ever done. It is how I saved myself because your mother saved me from myself. I may not have known your mother very well, but I promise you I loved her very much, and I was so very sorry to hear she passed away. So Camila died. And to be fair, when they're doing these interviews, they're like in their 70s, so like it makes sense. But Camille did write Julia, Susanna, and Maria an email and dated it for November 5th, 2012 at 11:41 p.m. and put the subject, your dad, and then said, hi girls, I need your help. After I'm gone, give your dad some time, and then please tell him to call Daisy Jones. Her number is in my date book in the second drawer of your nightstand, of my nightstand. Tell your father I said at the very least the two of them owe me a song. Love, Mom. And then I thought what was really cute, which I don't know how well it's going to be incorporated into the show because one of the songs isn't even the same from the lyrics or whatever, but they have all of their songs listed in here from I guess I could stand up, from the Aurora album that they did. That's it. Holy shit, I finished it. I will say that what I'm going to end up rating this as of right now, just like what I'm thinking, is a 4.5 because this book is a whole lot different than I expected it to be. It's not 5-star worthy to me, but it's so good. Like, I cried and I was shocked. I'm very excited that I read this with you guys, and I hope that you guys enjoyed the reading vlog. If you are watching Daisy Jones and the Sixth with me and everyone else, that's Friday. Let's get it. I'm so excited. I love you guys so freaking much. If you could do me a favor, like this video, follow my Instagram, subscribe to my YouTube channel, put your post notifications on so you'll be notified every single time that I upload a new video, which is every single Tuesday. I haven't missed a Tuesday yet. And I will see you for next week's video.